Yes, yes, yes. Hello, my friends. Ah, guys, what an epic couple days I've had. I mean, it was most fantastic. And I'll tell you all about it in a second. But first, we want to say hello to Amnon. Amnon, who is our producer, who makes all of this happen. Hello, Amnon. Thank you for doing this.
Of course.
And tell the people how they can get in touch with me today because please, any comment that you have today, the show will be, of course,
Of course.
about women, about the march, about what happened the last 24 hours. So, how can they get in touch with us, please?
919-518-9773 or Computers 2K Voice on Skype.
Yes. And if you want to go in the chat, just type it in, your question, your comment, whatever. I will answer, I will comment, and please participate. I know all of my women friends out there, they're listening. They want to know what really happened. Well, I was there. I was there. I went to Washington, and let me give you a little rundown of what happened. On Thursday evening, I found out about this on Monday. I paid my fee for the bus. Milford, Pennsylvania has the town of Milford has about 15,000 inhabitants, okay? The surrounding area is maybe another 15,000. So the whole thing is about 30,000 people. Well, over 100 people from my area, women and men, went and signed up on this march. We had, we had, um, uh, uh, well, I can't answer that right now. So, well, let me see if I can. Uh, no, I can't shut it up, but I could turn down the sound. So there we go. We had over 100 people, about 120 people went from here. We had two buses and two vans. And so on Monday, I found out about it. On Tuesday, I paid the fee was like about $70. On Thursday, we all got together, whoever wanted to, made signs. Still, by Thursday, I was, guys, I'm a girl of the 60s. I was in the 60 marches in San Francisco where the biggest ones were. I was afterwards on marches to Washington for civil rights, for whatever, right? I have always been an activist. Even though I do not belong to any party, and I don't wish to belong to any party. But I do believe, as you all know, I believe in basic human rights. I do believe that America is great, not make great again, but is great, great for so many people, a haven for so many people that come from other countries where they are oppressed, but especially women. So let's talk about this march. So Friday, 2 o'clock in the morning, I got up, and at 4 o'clock, our bus left. It was dark, it was drizzly, it was rainy, it was cold. And by that time, I still kept saying to myself, well, Gisela, you're a real patriot. Let's see of what this. The buzz that I was on, the women were buzzing. They were talking about, and predominantly really against Trump. Now, I'm not against Trump. Please, I'm not against Trump. I do not think that the things that I heard were at times where I wanted to say, listen, but you're on a bus. I was confined with all these women. I certainly didn't want to get slugged. So I kept my mouth shut. I listened. But there was, while we were on this 5-6 hour drive, the conversation started to get more moderate while they were tweeting, while they were on their phones, talking to finding out how all of this was going. And it was getting a little more moderate. And there were some other people who kept interjecting and kept saying, well, you know what, give the guy a chance. It's not, I mean, who are we to say? So they started to calm down. We got to Washington, and the buses all parked at the stadium parking lot. 2,000 buses from all over the East Coast. It was incredible. So now I thought, wow, this is probably a lot bigger than I really have ever seen. But this was nothing yet. Nothing. We decided to walk down Independence and then towards the Capitol. And because we didn't want to take the subway, because we said, well, you really don't have the experience if you take the subway down there and so on. And thank God we didn't, because if we would have taken the subway, we would have been right in the hub of things. And it was just, I have never in my life experienced a march like this. We look back over our shoulders. Anybody who has ever been in Washington knows that Independence is on a hill, and then you look up. When you look back, you see Independence going up the hill a little bit. It was black with people. While we were standing on Independence, all in front of us was a sea of people. I have never seen so many people, never in my life. And like I said, I've been on marches. I have never seen this. So we started to walk. And while we were walking down Independence, the Independence is lined with small townhouses. And the people in the town, now mind you, this is still pretty early, we got there about 10:30, 11 o'clock when we were walking. So this was still, but there were so many people in front of us. There were people there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And the people came out of the houses, congratulated us, waved at us, you go girls. Now, this was all not just women. This was men, women, children, small children, teenagers. Everybody had some kind of a sign, some kind of costume on, it was just, everybody was excited, exhilarated, happy. And now we were all getting to the point of where, and I certainly was like, whoa, this is very different than whatever I have experienced before. There was it was like there was compassion, love, solidarity, congeniality in the air. It was unbelievable. We were walking down into now it started to get very crowded. We never got, by the way, to the White House. We never got to the mall because it was so congested with people that you couldn't even walk any further. Many times we were just standing in a big crowd. But that gave me an opportunity to talk to people around me, not just to my group, because my group was disintegrating by that time already. I was just sort of like, was a couple of those people on the bus, because we swore beforehand that we're going to have a little buddy system so that we could find our way back to the buses so we wouldn't get lost, So then what we did is I talked to the people around me. And I talked to a woman. I mean, she was 4 feet high, but it all hunched over, and her legs were really not in that good of a shape. But she had her husband with her, and he had one of those pink pussy hats on, which were all, the reason why they are called that is because I don't know if you recall in Russia those young girls that occupied the cathedral there and did a protest to Putin. And, they wore these hats that were like a pussycat. And that was the theme. You saw a sea of pink. You probably saw the pictures, but the feeling of all of that was so incredible. It was it was solidarity, it was love, it was understanding, it was a feeling of being a part of a huge movement, of a change in the vortex of our existence. That women are finally saying, we have the power. Stop oppressing us. Stop telling us that we cannot choose. Stop paying us less because we are a woman. Stop abusing us. So many men still abuse women all over the world. And that feeling transferred all over the world. As you probably saw on the news, all over the world, women and men came together yesterday for the first time ever to stop oppression of any kind, really. Let's start moving together, being together, working together, making a new world. If we need a new world order, so let's make one. Let's make one of congeniality. Let's make one that we have everybody has rights. Everybody. It doesn't matter. They were black. They were, I mean, I don't know. The only thing I didn't see was purple people. But I saw most every color. And they were just, so I talked to this woman. Her husband was wearing and obviously she had knitted them. Many of them were self-made. And I talked to her, I said, well, why are you here? And she said, why shouldn't I be here? We have dreamt of a day like this. And I said to him, I said, and what about you? And he said, well, I support her. Without you guys, we wouldn't exist. And I just had to smile at that, It was so emotional for me to see this. There was no police, nowhere. We were warned beforehand we couldn't take backpacks and so on, that they would be searched and so on. There was no police to be seen. There was National Guard and traffic guidance. The traffic cops, there was a guy that he must have been 6'5". I mean, he was humongous, a black guy, huge, like a bear. He was directing traffic and he was telling everybody, welcome, welcome, good for you. Without you, we wouldn't be here. There were people in these houses that we were walking through, we were walking through the Independence and all these very rich townhouses there. They came out and they were offering coffee. They were offering good cheer. They were offering bathrooms on the way back. They said, come on in. We have a bathroom. Because what they did is they had locked, when the march was sort of over, we left about 3:30, they zip-locked all the porta potties along the way. So you couldn't go to the bathroom. So what they did is they opened the houses for us to go to the bathroom. There were businesses, few businesses, but there were businesses around They let us use the bathrooms. We bought some Chinese food, some takeout Chinese food. These Chinese hustled like mad to accommodate the crowds. They had that food out in Tut Sweet, and they offered the bathrooms. They offered water. I mean, it was a day of love. It was a day of we are together. We are one family, all of us. We are the United States of America. This is what democracy is. Democracy is for everybody. Democracy is that we all are sharing in the fruits of our country. And that's what this should be. And I sure hope that we all are continuing this. There was no violence. There was no profanity, except the word pussy, which some of them thought was, but no, pussy is a kitty cat, right? And it also is used for something else. And some of the posters said that. But most of the posters were to band together, to have the right to be a country, not to be you're rich, you're more educated, you're black, you're white, you're this, you're that. No superiority. When somebody bumped into you, they said, "Excuse me." They were kind and I came away with so much. My heart was so full. My head was so full. It was something I had never experienced in my life. We got back on the bus, and now, we all shared food. We all brought food. We all shared food. And now the atmosphere was very different. The atmosphere was, what a great experience it was, and how we should go on to keep this experience, to keep, this is what America should be. We should be together, working together. Naturally, they had the tweets of Trump who said, well, his inauguration, there were more people there, which was not possible. I mean, even though the media reported there were 500,000 there, let me assure you, there were over 1 million there. Over 1 million. I didn't count them, because you couldn't. There was no accounting. But the people were everywhere. When you look down, and like I said, when you were on the hill, you could look down. It was a sea of people. The Gloria Steinem had a fabulous speech of solidarity, of unity, of that this is a new era. Samantha Bee was there. The friends on my bus, they were just so excited that they saw the bus of Samantha Bee, and they were able to wave to her, and this just made their day, and I thought it was great too, because I think she is great. But people like that are starting to rile up people. Women are coming together finally, just like it has been such a long road for women. I mean, I had a great discussion. I want to share that with you. There was a young couple. He had the baby up in front in a little knapsack, and she was walking with a sign. And they were standing next to me, and I said, well, this is really pretty amazing. And he said, yes, it is. And I said, aren't you a little concerned as a guy to have this, that women are so, he said, listen, without women, I wouldn't have this little guy and I wouldn't be here either. There would be no world. And I said, so right, so right. And she said, women are strong and women need to say that they are strong, that they are the ones who can rule. And he piped in and said, yeah, we need a woman president. We need for women to start ruling. And I smiled and I said, you know what? That's exactly right. The reason why, and he said, yeah, tell me. And I said, the reason why it hasn't been up till now is because women are so much stronger. They are more resourceful. They are more inventful. They are more resilient. They endure pain so much better. They are stronger mentally and physically than most men. Now, physically, I mean not muscle power, but we walked yesterday almost 10 miles. 10 miles I walked. And I'm not a young woman, as you know. I am way over 70. And I walked it and I didn't feel pain. On the way back, my feet were not so great anymore. And I kept thinking, wow, I hope we'll find that bus soon. But, you know, it was not a problem because, and this old lady that was, I had before there next to me, she walked all of that because there were no buses that brought us down there. There were no taxis. There was no, you know, I mean, once you were in this, there was no escaping. You either walked or you sat down and somebody picked you up, I guess. I don't know. But there was nobody fainted. Nobody got trampled. Nobody got shoved. It was just beautiful. So women are able to do these things if they want to. Now, the reason why, and this is my view, and here's where you can pipe in if you wish. My feeling always has been, if we would have an Amazon society, our society would be much more resourceful, in my opinion, much more equal, because women are for preservation of life, for the life to be nourished. Now, many of the Planned Parenthood were there, and many against Planned Parenthood. There were many posters there against Planned Parenthood. And on the bus, there were many that said, well, you know, I don't believe in that our bodies are. I believe that every life should be preserved. Well, you know what? It's a choice. It's a choice to make. Women will never, ever, there will be never, ever that women will say, unless there is no food, no water, and the environment is done, then women, just like all animals, will stop reproducing. But otherwise, it should be our choice. It should be our choice. That does not mean I am for or against, but it is everybody's choice. And if there is not enough resource, the bodies most of the time will shut down. Every animal does that. Now, my analogy of an Amazon state was that women will be preserving life. Without women, we wouldn't have schools. We wouldn't live in houses. Most men would be very happy with just a cave. They go hunting and they go bring in the meat and have all the work done by women. I was married to one of those. Over the 37 years that I am married to him, he has changed. He now, when I came home last night at 12 o'clock, he said, "Good for you, girl. I applaud you." And that alone was a revelation. And I'm sure that there were many women like that. So if we would have an Amazon state, it would not be, but it would be a threat to men. Men could not have the entire power. We need to be equal partners with men and women combined. We need that because the world is becoming a more hazardous place between environmental problems and economical problems. If we do not band together for the good of all of us, we will perish. And it's a time of wake up. And that was what yesterday was all about. Now, I want you to pipe into this. I want you to ask me questions. I want you to give your opinion. Please do so now. Get into the chat box. Tell me what you think, because that's an intricate part of this. If we do not talk to each other, if we do not, may it be that you're against me, that's still talking. That's still communication. Please do so now. All right, Amnon.
919.
Are we getting anybody in there?
Not yet. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype.
Yes, and get into the chat box. It's right next to where you clicked in. The chat box is right there. You don't have to give your name. You can just say, what about this? What about that? Now, yesterday was also one of those things which was really amazing. All this trash that a huge amount of people produce. Well, all this trash, there were women put their banner on the side. They had huge plastic bags, and they started to collect some of this trash, put it into plastic bags. They were not civil workers. They were not from the Department of Sanitation. They just did this. Other people did the same thing. I saw people putting their candy wrappers into their pockets. I certainly did. We didn't, when we could, we didn't, because there were they would pile up all the trash, all the cups on like lampposts where there's a little ledge. They would pile them all up there neatly. It was the most amazing thing in the world. The groups that were there were few groups because most of them got scattered, okay? But the ones that were there, nobody was incented that they would incent riots. I mean, the only chant that was a little bit maybe could be construed was that ho ho, Trump has to go, or something like this, well, you know what? Maybe he brought this on to himself a little bit. If he has this good heart, which I do believe that he does, I do believe he is a patriot. I do believe that he is a good American. I don't believe he is an evil man. He sure knows how to hide it, though, because his words are not that we can construe, and his actions. I mean, he signed right at the inauguration, he signed away the arts. Well, you know what? The arts are museums. We have a small little museum here in our town. Without museums, these are the history preservers. If we do not preserve our history, we have no past as a people. We have to preserve history. We have to support the arts because they are uplifting and they make people better and they make people calmer and nicer to each other. So we need the arts. You can't just sign that away. I know there has to be cuts, but you know what? Let's cut the wars. Let's cut that. Wars are not conducive to unity of planet. They are not. Wars are dividers, and that is not something that women want. And these women certainly they said we don't want those things. So
And Kathy's
that
saying,
is yes.
Kathy's saying she totally agrees with your feelings on this. And Deb is saying, what are the next steps we have to take to continue this movement? I agree with
Okay.
you 100% and want to thank you for doing this for all women.
Thank you. Yes, we had initially thought that we had a huge banner, and the banner said, "We are marching for ... And we had thought that we could go behind this banner, and each one had a postcard size little sign that said who they were marching for. And I did put signs like my friend Debbie, my friend Lori, my friend so and so. I'm marching for unity of women, and these kind of things. And we were going to just keep exchanging that. Well, none of that happened because there was no march. I mean, nobody marched. We were just all milling about, and there was no organization in any of this. But very likely because it was so impromptu, it was so fast put together by all these organizations. The next ones are going to be much better organized. Now, my take on this was that organizers, the global organizers, are saying every 10 days a march somewhere. In the bigger cities, certainly, and in the smaller cities. I find that may not logistically be possible. However, what is possible, and this is what everybody should be thinking of doing. If you go on the net, you can find your congressmen, you can find your representatives that are in Congress. Now, if you are a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're an independent, if you're a nothing like me, I am a nobody, I don't have any affiliation. So I'm going to call them all. I'm going to make one day a week that I sit in the morning after my morning coffee, and I'm going to just go down the list and call them and say, and pick topics that interest me, that I want to have happen. I want the arts to be funded. I want that women have the right to their own body, that I want national health care. I want to have for people to have the right to choose the methodology of their treatment, the methodology of, I don't want pharmaceuticals. I want herbal or different different modalities. The insurance companies should fund most of these. They should have that you have an aggregate of let's say $200-300 a year that you can spend on any of those alternative health cares. That is a mandatory. That should be. Our representatives are the ones we send to Congress, we pay for. They should do our bit. We are the bosses, not they. So we should tell them. If we don't tell them, if we stay silent, nothing will happen. I don't care if you think that every Pekingese in the United States should be protected. Well, then go for it. Call them, tell them. But like I heard many on where I was when I spoke to some of the people, they were sort of like, we should demand. No, we shouldn't demand. What we should do, a boss doesn't demand. A boss leads and says, please do it this way, because this way is more successful for ... That's what a good leader is. A good leader. And that's what we should all become. We should become the leaders of our world, each one of us. And if we don't tell our employees in the White House what we want and how we want it done, then they cannot do our bidding. Question answered?
I would guess so. Kathy says, what a great idea.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely. We need to, and that has nothing to do with power.
Now,
It has, yes.
let me make a couple of points here. And you know,
Please
I'm
do.
on the other side, kind of. And
Of course, of course.
and yesterday was, to me, was nothing, but Friday was the greatest day.
Okay.
First of all, don't lie to yourself. This did not just happen overnight, that march. This started on November 8th. The organization started on November 8th, and there was a lot of time to do it. And it's very nice. And I thought, oh boy, what great. But the minute it became against Trump and against abortion and against, I said, okay, that's not really women's march. That's a political thing. And then when they did not let the Right to Life group of women, the national, go with them or officially be with them, I said, okay, that's not a women's group. That's obviously it's turning to that. But you're talking about women leading, and you sound like it's a new thing. I mean, where I come from, Golda Meir. Where you come from
absolutely.
today, England, India. I mean, there's a
Germany.
lot of women that I
Yes.
think, and you can't tell me that there are more women in England than there are men. I mean, it is not whether it's a man or a woman. It is who's a better leader and who can do
Yes.
better. So over here, I think we are lucky. We're very lucky that these women that organized this did not do it for Hillary. If they came out for Hillary back then and organized something like this, we would have Hillary Clinton as a president today, because they knew how to motivate the women and how to get them out. Women, look at you. Women drove and flew all the way to big cities to do this. Probably half of them or more didn't even go out to vote.
Right.
Why? Why? Because either they are really lazy, which I don't think. I think they're smart and they knew what to do. And they knew that we can't have Hillary. So, okay, so Trump is going to be there. Now let's go and tell him what needs to be done. And
There
and
you
they
go.
and you're talking about the people that were there. I mean, if you have kids, they don't know anything about what's going on. This is the parents just using them as pawns. Come on. You have a call.
Well-
Wait a second. You have a call. Hello.
Hello?
You
Yes.
just make sure that you walk away from the computer.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Hi. You're
Yes,
talking to
my
me,
name is
Gisela.
Phoebe.
Wait a second. Debbie,
Yes, I
Debbie, listen to me. You need to
have
turn
a question.
You need to turn down the sound of your computer or walk away from it when you're on the phone. Otherwise, you're going to be confused by the delay.
Did you get that?
Okay. Can
Okay.
you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
What?
My question is, I know for a fact that a lot of those women were there because they did not want Trump. And I do not believe that he is a good person at all whatsoever.
And isn't that great that we can say that in a democratic country like ours?
Yes. Yes. It is a wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
So what
but
is
if
your question?
he continues the way he is, we won't be able to say that anymore.
Okay, but you have to understand one thing. No matter what you say right now, he is the president. He is everybody's president, not just a few people. I don't care if you say he's not mine. You have to wait and give the person a chance. He never proved that he doesn't like women. He never proved that he doesn't like minorities. He never
That's
proved.
debatable. I'm not.
Well, no, he didn't. I mean, look, he married three of.
Actions speak louder than words. He definitely proved he doesn't like women or minorities.
Oh, so why did he marry three of them?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. And Carla,
To
listen.
abuse them.
Debbie. Go
Yes.
ahead. Go ahead.
Debbie, I do understand, and I heard a lot of that yesterday also. But see, my viewpoint on this is that a lot like Amnon, he is our president right now, and it is not so much about who is the president. What was this about was women come together and make their own world. As Amnon said, they have been always women that were powerful and had the ingenuity, the smarts, and the energy to become presidents of states and nations. Look at Angela Merkel in Germany. She is one of the most powerful women and one of the best leaders in the world. But the normal woman, the everyday woman, has not found solidarity, has not found that she is a part of this greater woman that the women are, because corporations, chauvinist males, men that have oppressed and put them down. So many. Why do we have safe haven? Because there's so many men who abuse their physical power to oppress women. We should not. We have to teach our world that we are equal, not better, but equal.
Absolutely.
Okay? Did you get that?
Yes, I agree with you 100%. We do have to do that.
Yes. And this is our time now. We have to keep this. The train started to move. Let's not have it stop. Let's not have it stop. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Because without that, all this effort, the 10 miles, my sore feet, my exhaustion, happy exhaustion, I might say, that I came home last night was for naught. As it has been, let's keep moving. All my sisters out there, all the women that I know and love, I am in my business as a homeopathy because of that, because I care for people, because I care for women. I care for men too. I love men. I'm not that I don't like men. I love men. But we need to be partners. It's time. We need to be partners. And Donald Trump, and our Congress people that make the rules and regulations have to understand that we are determined. And please get yourself a list. If you need a list, email me. I will tell you who to call. It's easy. It's very easy. Just go on the net, put down. You
Yes,
can
I'm
go on
definitely
whatever
going to
state
be
you live
calling
in. New
people
York.
because the changes that he wants to make are unbelievable.
Okay. So tell your congressman and tell him, I do not want that. I want you to vote differently. If you do not vote differently, all my women friends and all of us, we will at the next election see that you're voted out. It's as simple as that. There is no, you know what? These guys are in office because for 100 years because of our lethargic attitude, because we do not get involved. And since men have not done such a great job in this, then let's do it. Let women do it. Let
Yes,
women call.
I do agree with you. It's about time women get involved, and let's do it, like you said. My daughter was at the march, too. I really wish I was there, but I'm 100% behind women have to get involved. They have to start making changes because it's about time. It's about time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's ludicrous that we did not find a woman candidate that we could vote for in the last election. So we have in 4 years, we have another opportunity. In the meantime, let's not suffer for 4 years, but let's tell our Congress people our wishes, our demands, the things that are close to our heart. Things that are close to our heart are the environment. We cannot rape our environment like we are doing and that the way it is planned, regardless of our needs. We cannot have Planned Parenthood that is an organization that has done a lot of good. Maybe it needs to be revamped. Maybe it needs to have better oversight. I don't deny that. But we cannot abandon that. We cannot abandon the all of the strides and the gains we have done over so many years. Gloria Steinem
I
said it
agree with you
yesterday.
100%, and that's what Trump wants to do. He wants to remove everything. He doesn't even believe in global warming, which is ridiculous. He's going to destroy our planet.
Here's my thing. It's up to us to stop him. But we are not going to stop him by yelling impeachment. Because
No,
it's not going to happen unless he hangs himself somehow with his ludicrous tweets.
no.
We
We all
have
have to stick together, like you said. Call our congressmen every day and tell them what
Every
our
day
feelings
somebody
are,
else.
because if enough
Yes.
people call, they will have to listen.
They have to listen.
Absolutely.
And they will listen. Because most of Congress understands their job depends on our say-so. If we do not vote for these jokers, they don't have a job. Simple as that. So here's the thing. Every day, not everybody has to call every day. Have a circle of friends, all the friends that you have. Ask them, give them the list and say, you call on Wednesday, I call on Tuesday, you call on Monday. Every day, somebody calls. And
Yes, that's a very good plan. That's a very good plan.
And here is the kicker. Most of the congressmen, because I stay very much on top of this, I have never in my life been so involved. But I know that if it's not people like me, then who? Then who? We need to wake up. So most of the congressmen have said we have gotten more calls than ever before. And it has to be a deluge. It has to be a deluge. And if you are that you are for that Planned Parenthood should be dismantled, if you do believe the environment should be raped, well then, okay, it doesn't matter. But call, call and say what you want. That is more important than what you call about. Do you agree?
Yes. Yes, I do agree. And I agree, like you said, we should have a circle of friends, and so many call on whatever day, and they say what they would like to have done.
Absolutely. And if we do this 4 months at a time, we will succeed. The next election will look different. We will have a candidate that will emerge. If Elizabeth Warren does not want to become president, because she would be a shoo-in for most people.
I think she would be excellent.
Yeah, but she has to agree.
Yeah,
She has to
you're
agree.
right. She has to agree, but I think she would be excellent.
Yes, she would be. But we have to also see what is possible. We cannot muscle in anybody, and we cannot dictate. That would defeat the purpose. And
Right.
putting each other down for having voted for Trump or having voted for Hillary or having not voted at all, that's not a solution either. That's not a solution. We need to work from the premise that we are a unified country, no matter who you voted for. We are unified. We all want the same thing. We all want clean water. We all want clean air. We want a planet that is preserved. We want our children to be educated properly and with as little money. Education should be free, in my opinion. Healthcare should be free, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
Well, a lot of
It has
people
to be.
have that opinion.
Yes. So let's see that we work for it. If we can fund wars, overseas wars that are costing us billions. And I'm not saying we should abandon our foreign policy at all. I do believe
I agree with
that,
you too. We're spending too much money on war and not on our country.
yeah, and that has to change. But they will govern where the money is. Up till now, our Congress and our politics have been, where's the money, where's the gain? That thinking has to be changed. The thinking has to be changed. We have to think of what is good for America, what is good for the people, what is good for our country. And all the people that abuse the system, because it's rife with abusement, they should be forewarned and said, if you cannot show that you do have disabilities, that you cannot work, that you cannot do this, then you will get assistance. Otherwise, here are programs that you can work in, that we have. There should be a workforce. We have now in Milford, which I applaud thoroughly, we have now, our school has borrowed $10 million to institute a technical college. That means young people can learn automotive skills, they can learn carpentry, they can learn to be an electrician, they can learn all these things. That is what we need all over. That is what I'm going to call my congressman
That
on.
is exactly true. That is what we need all over.
Yes. And my congressman is going to hear that. And once we do that, then things will start slowly. It's not going to happen overnight. The cart is in the mud. The cart is in the mud. We need to see that we drag it out. And women are great at this. They are great at this. And if you can get your husband or partner into this, even better. My husband is not going to call any congressman. I know that. But he is going to make me breakfast while I call my congressman. How is that? Okay? So I think that we had a fabulous, fabulous beginning. Let's not have it stopped. Let's not have it stopped. Please, please, please. And as Bernie Sanders said, I'm just one person. I'm just one person. I had such an exhilarating experience yesterday. And my heart is so filled. My whole outlook on America has changed 180 degrees because I was almost despairing. And I'm not anymore. And just for that, it was a good day. It was a good day. And I'm glad I went. And not every woman could go. And you know what? As Amnon said, the organizers did not want to have the Women's Right to Life group march. And I believe the reason for that is that they can be somewhat violent. They can be so adamant about their cause that they forget that other people have a right to their opinion also. And that we have to think about. We cannot be so adamant about our own belief that we forget that other people have the same right. Other people have the same right as we have. If you believe black is the color that is governing, and I believe white is the color that is governing, we both have the right to do that. We both have the right to do that.
You can't have it. You can't have it both ways. If you can't exclude women, if it's a women's movement, now you're excluding this group, which I don't know much about. All I know is they're a women's group. Tomorrow, who are you going to exclude? And suddenly,
they were not able to.
And suddenly,
there were a lot of women there that were for that. You know,
right.
I think it was a safety thing, what they did.
No, because these women said we're going to go anyway. So it's not like they kept them out of there. But the fact that they did not accept them, that means, okay, you don't have rights.
Well,
we are a different group. We are our own clique, kind of. So I don't know. I mean, I'm.
Yeah, you have a point, Amnon. I do think that you have a point. But I think when organizers they were all, everybody, let me tell you, the police and the organizers that the people that direct the traffic and so on, we talked to them. You know, my little group there of our 3 women, we talked to them and we asked them, were there more people yesterday here? Or he said no. We have never seen anything like it. This is epic. We have never, you know what? Everybody was elated that it was so peaceful. So peaceful.
How peaceful is it to say that I thought about blowing the White House so many times?
Well, I don't know. Nobody said that
anywhere
where I was.
Madonna said it on the speaker while she was on the stage.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, well, I mean, come on.
I'm not a fan of Madonna. So.
No, I'm just saying, you know, the women, right. She knew what to tell the women, I think. I don't know, but I mean, this is ridiculous.
Nobody acted on it.
No, I hope not.
Yeah. Nobody acted on it, and in my opinion, that's just as stupid.
It is. Absolutely. That's the word for it. It's absolutely stupid, and coming from somebody like her, it's also irresponsible.
It is. I agree with you totally, because we should be working together, not destroying things.
Right.
You know, don't kick. Life is sort of like this. This is the way I see it. You have two buckets. One bucket is in front of you, and one bucket is in the back of you. You fill the first bucket in front of you with water. Then you turn around, and with your foot, you kick that bucket over, and you fill the
it
one
up.
in
Yep.
front of you.
Yep.
You're continuously just filling the bucket in.
Right.
You never have two buckets of water.
Yep.
And that is when we start to destroy things. We cannot do that. We cannot destroy things in order to we can change things. And that's when there is a thing to make it better. Yes, sometimes we have to take things out or modify or eliminate it completely. But you cannot just destroy.
No.
Yelling
Absolutely.
impeachment of Trump is not going to get us anywhere.
No.
No.
No. I think more people are afraid of Pence than of
Yes.
Trump. And
Yes, they are. It was incredible. They all like, well, then we're going to end up with Pence. And I said, well,
I mean, just get.
that's like from getting from the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, you know, I saw a nice poster. The end of the show, then very nice poster. It was made out of 3 banners. The first banner said, "He won, get over it," and all the O's were the Obama symbol. Remember?
Yeah.
The second one said, "He won twice, get over it." The third one said, "Trump won. Now it's your turn to get over it." And it's
There you
so
go.
true.
Yes,
Just
there you go.
keep going forward. You
Keep
want to
going
change it?
forward.
Keep changing. Why didn't you change it in the last 10 years?
You
keep
know what?
going.
Looking back has never served anybody anything
Absolutely.
unless
Well,
learning the lesson.
No, you have to
Learning the
learn the lesson looking back, but go forward with that lesson in mind. Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
Absolutely. That's why you're my producer. That's why I absolutely adore you, because you always put the little dollop on the end of sanity on whatever I say. I love you all. Thank you so much for calling in. Did we have anybody that we didn't reach in the chat room?
Kathy's saying this was a very inspiring show. Deb is saying, Gisela, you're so right. Just listen to the man speaking. We have a long way to go. So I guess she didn't like what I said earlier, but that's okay. That's fine. That's
But you know what? You will have that.
yes.
If you say something that is inspiring, oppositional, or whatever, you will have the opposition.
Right.
And we should all have congeniality and compassion enough to understand the other point of view.
Yeah.
And with that, I will leave you today. Thank you so much for listening in. Next week, we go back to our regular homeopathy, this and that. I will tell you a little bit about anxiety next week, anxiety, being we had a couple of women on our bus that had a lot of anxiety, that had a lot of, because of various things. So we'll talk about how we can help with that too, with homeopathy. I will also give you some remedies that will energize you, because, sometimes we need a little extra kick to pump us up to do the task that is at hand. Please remember, the only way to change is by doing the work. You cannot sit back anymore and say, let other people do it. We cannot do that. We all have to do the work. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. See you next Sunday at 12 o'clock. This is the Gisela Show. and I always will bring you the truth. Bye for now.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.